Hey, what's up, Musties? How are you doing? We are going to do a short review about Cocaine Bear. Cocaine. So anyways, Cocaine Bear, directed by Elizabeth Banks. She also directed Pitch Perfect 2 and the 2019 version of Charlie's Angels. I have not seen any of the Pitch Perfect films. I know, but I have seen 2019 Charlie's Angels. It was good. It was better than Cocaine Bear, so it wasn't as violent and as exciting as Cocaine Bear. But let's get into Cocaine Bear. So, spoilers ahead. Just letting you know, there will be many spoilers. Spoilers. So, we warned you. All right. So, first of all, this is not a family movie. This is not the movie you take to your kids, take with your kids, take your kids. There are kids in the movie. There is a family essence in the movie. The movie does a great job actually with the 80s kind of vibe that it sets itself in, 80s/70s vibe. It is based on a true story. There was cocaine that fell from a airplane when a drug deal went wrong. There was a drug gang that went to go search for this cocaine. A man did fall out of a plane because of cocaine, saying cocaine a lot, and died. And then a bear in the mountains in this national park did get some of that cocaine, but instead of rampaging throughout the forest and killing dozens of people horrifically over and over again, the bear just OD'd and died. So we get none of that, and we don't get any of the solemnity of that story. We just get cocaine fall into forest, happen to, where you have tourists walking around in the forest. Bear sees tourists and goes on a rampage for the rest of the film. It's literally an hour and a half. It's not even an hour and a half yet. It's actually not even a 90-minute film, or it's like just barely over 90 minutes of horrific bear attacks. Like, if you are traumatized or triggered by animal attacks of any kind, you need to not watch this movie. Do not take your kids to go see this movie. There were horrific events. Like, the first slaughter was a loving couple about to get married, and they were having a good time taking pictures of themselves in the forest. They start taking pictures of the bear on cocaine. The bear on cocaine noticed these people, chased them down, destroyed and murdered and mauled the wife-to-be. It was horrific, and threw her arm out into the woods so that the husband could see the last little bit remaining parts of his lovely bride-to-be. It was terrible. There was a scene where in a shack or in a house where the park ranger was, like, it murdered two children, or no, a child, really horrifically, and then an ambulance came to save everybody. And this is where I thought, like, okay, you love paramedics. We love them, and we think they serve our community so well. We're not going to destroy these paramedic people in this movie. We're going to let them be. We're going to let them escape. And they do their very best to escape. They're in the car. They're in the ambulance. This thing is a truck. This thing is like heavy duty, tons and tons of weight. You don't think that the bear can catch up to it and actually destroy the people inside. Guess again. It's a bear. It's not just a bear. It's a bear high on lots of cocaine. And it destroys the people in it, mauls them to death, and destroys the ambulance, and the ambulance crashes, and the driver itself flies out the window. It was horrible, people. I was traumatized. I was very upset. I love bears. I grew up with Smokey the Bear being in my TV commercials. Now, after this movie, I'm like, forget Smokey the Bear, forget the forest, maybe burn it all down with a cigarette, forget them. And I'm not happy with bears after this movie. In fact, I think I might need to go to counseling myself because it was so darn horrific. All right, let's get back to the rest of the movie, though. So there were confusing characters and no real theme. The story was non-existent except for the fact that you saw a bear, you run, you try to run, bear mauls you to death, chews on you, then sniffs more cocaine. Yes, the bear sniffs the cocaine. Doesn't snort it. They don't go that far. But the bear sniffs the cocaine. And the third act, I will say, to give credit to this film, to give credit to the people who made this film, the first and second acts were pretty decent. I was enthralled and immersed into the story. I didn't know where it was going to go, and I wasn't quite sure like how it was going to end, except for mauling of people by the bears. And so I was thinking this is going to be really good. But they had this whole like child-parent conflict going throughout the movie where the child's like, my mom is spending too much time with her new boyfriend, and so I'm gonna ruin her day and go and get myself lost in the forest, and then hopefully she'll come find me so we can go see the waterfalls, because I'm kid logic. It's just crazy what they do in this film. And then when you get to the third act, it's all about this kid and her weird friend, and who, I guess they both were on cocaine too. Kids are snorting cocaine. Yeah, that's what happens. The bears don't snort cocaine, but the kids do. Not a family film. Not a family film. Elizabeth Banks, I don't know what you're doing. But anyways, it's crazy what happens, right? At the very end, you actually think something very clever is going to happen at that moment, and the bear will lose. Guess what? No, the bear snorts a bunch of cocaine once again and destroys the antagonist and becomes the hero. And that's the thing that weirds me out about this film. The bear is not a hero. The bear's not upset because maybe someone killed this baby bear cub and then it just happens to come upon cocaine and then finally has resolve to say, I'm not going to be sweet and nice and drink honey like, whatever, but I'm gonna actually destroy the people who killed my baby cub. No, the cubs are fine. The cubs are safe. The bear just wants to eat and kill, and lots of eating and lots of killing. Yeah, so there's a little twist in the second act that was actually kind of interesting, but then it doesn't even play out. It fizzles out. So I would say the third act really does not pay off for you at the end of this movie. It is lots of cocaine. It is lots of the bears. It is somewhat hilarious, but it's very gruesome. I was entertained, but I'm gonna give this movie a 6 out of 10. And that's my review of Cocaine Bear.